Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another week of children's worship online. We're so glad that you're here, and thank you for joining us and for watching. I'm going to start right away with lighting our Christ candle. This week I didn't light it before you were all watching. So we're going to light our candle, and as always, it's a reminder that God is always with us, no matter what, even if we don't have a candle, and also that He calls us to be the light of the world. And there's a bunch of different ways that we can be the light of the world. And we are right in the middle of learning about them. So I'm going to direct you to our Fruits of the Spirit bulletin, or bulletin board here. The things that we've been learning about in these last couple of weeks have all to do with the things that, as we live these things out, we're really being the light of the world. Things like love and joy and peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. When we do those things and when we practice those things in our house, everybody feels it, everybody knows it, and we're really being the person that God calls us all to be. So I want to challenge you this week to continue practicing your fruits of the Spirit, and I also want to challenge you to listen for what fruits that you hear in the story that we're about to do. So this is a story about a woman, and I'm going to let you listen to it. This story is actually found in 3 different books of the Bible. So we're doing the version that you find in Mark, but it's also in Matthew and John. So for the bigger kids that are watching today, I have a worksheet that I'm going to talk to you about afterwards, and you're going to find some differences in the story between what you're hearing now and what you're seeing when you read it in the other books. But for now, just want you to listen to this story from Mark, and we'll get started. Our story today takes place inside a house. Once every year, the people of God go up to Jerusalem to celebrate the Feast of Passover, to remember how God led them through the waters to freedom. And every year, Jesus and his family and friends go up to Jerusalem to celebrate the feast. But this year, the chief priests, elders, and scribes were looking for a way to arrest Jesus and have him killed. It was 2 days before Passover, and Jesus was in Simon the leper's house near Jerusalem. Suddenly, a woman appeared with some very expensive ointment. She opened the bottle and poured the ointment over Jesus' head. But some became very angry. "Why did you waste this ointment? It was very expensive. It could have been sold for a year's wages and the money given to the poor." They kept scolding the woman. But Jesus said, "Let her alone. She has done a beautiful thing to me. She has anointed my body before I die. She has prepared me to be buried." Then Jesus continued, "Wherever God's story is told around the world, what she has done will be told in remembrance of her." going to ask you some questions, and I invite you to talk about them with your grown-ups and your family. I wonder how this woman feels about Jesus. I wonder how Jesus feels about the woman. I wonder how the woman feels anointing Jesus and honoring him in the way that she did. I wonder why the disciples don't like what the woman is doing for Jesus. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the answers, as I know I was trying to allow some silence to let you guys share your thoughts too. So I think the woman wasn't expecting to be scolded for what she did. I think she really loved Jesus, and she was really doing something that was never done. I don't know if any of you have ever been sitting in somebody's house for dinner, and clearly a dinner party, right? There's a lot of people in the room, and somebody comes over and pours ointment or oil, something that smells very good and is very expensive, all over you. I've never seen that happen. So this is for sure something that wasn't a very normal thing that people did. I think she was saving that bottle for something so special and so valuable that it meant a lot to her. And so by her pouring that oil on Jesus, she was just showing how much that she loved him. And Jesus got that, right? Everyone else at the table was mad. They're like, why did you do that? That was so wasteful. And the only one that didn't feel that way at all and spoke up about it was Jesus. And he said, guys, leave her alone. What she did was a good thing. She's honoring me. She's preparing me. This woman knew that Jesus was going to soon not be with us. And she wanted to take advantage of being with him, being present with him, to honor him and to just tell him that she loved him, right? And you know, the disciples weren't yet understanding that Jesus wasn't always going to be with him. And I mean, we don't know why, right? At some point that changes over the coming week. But at any rate, I think one of the things that this woman showed was by far love. That was the biggest thing that the fruits of the Spirit, I think, that this story shows. And then the other thing, I think, was kindness and gentleness, because Jesus was not unkind to the woman. He didn't make her feel bad for doing something. He didn't make the other people feel bad for scolding her. He just said, please stop it, right? I don't think Jesus would have maybe yelled at them. I think he probably corrected them in a gentle way, which is, again, a fruit of the Spirit. And then, you know, they talk a little bit about what she could have done with it, right? She said, well, you could have sold that really expensive ointment and honored and given it to the poor, given it to somebody that needed it more. And so, you know, I think that wasn't a bad thing, right? It was a good idea, but Jesus, again, doesn't correct them and say, no, she shouldn't do that. It just said, you know what, she did what she wanted with it, and it honored me and it showed me love, and that was a good thing. So we're going to go to the Lenten Bible verses that I sent home with you all, and I hope you're having fun, or at least filling the time with trying to memorize some of these. The verse that I want you to memorize this week is from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. It says, love is patient, love is kind. And this story really shows, I think, the patience that Jesus had with his disciples, even though he felt like they should have gotten it, or, you know, he was very patient with them, and he was very kind with how he showed them that he loves them, but he also was appreciative of the love that this woman was showing. So that is the Bible verse for this week. For the older kids, I'm going to be sending home. So the books of the Bible were written by many different authors. And I know you probably know that, or some of you may have heard that before. This particular story that's in 3 different books of the Bible was written by 3 different authors to 3 different sets of people. And I want you to look at the context with which each of the writers, who they were writing to and why their stories were slightly different. Because this is a recording history, there are different people tell the story in different ways, right? I don't know which one is right. It's just told from the point of view of the author to the people that they were telling. So your work for this week is going to be to try to find the differences between the books of the Bible and the stories. And some of them are pretty alarming. It's actually, when you stop and read them and look at them, it's amazing how different some of the things are. So find them. If you get anything that you don't understand or are stumped by, you can certainly reach out and email me or text me and let me know. Anything I don't know, I will talk straight to Pastor Brian, or you guys can go straight to Pastor Brian too. He loves getting questions about the Bible and things that we don't understand, because he has a whole lot more knowledge about that than certainly I do, and certainly likes to share it with us. So that's your work for this week. The other thing that I'm going to send home is, I think these are so important, and especially while we're all staying around our families all the time, practicing the fruits of the Spirit, I'm going to send you home the printout of these fruits. The words, the 9 different fruits of the Spirit, are not actually written on the document that I'm going to send you. So another activity that you can do this week is you can write out your fruits of the Spirit, write the different words on each of the pieces of fruit and color them if you'd like to. We're going to put ours, I actually made ours into a banner that I have hanging across our dining room, which I don't have a picture of that to show you, but I just put a hole punch in and used some wrapping ribbon to hang them in our house so that they're a little more visible and that they're fun. It was something that the girls enjoyed doing. So that's one idea of how you can use them, but I hope you enjoy getting the fruits of the Spirit up around the house so that it helps you remember them a little bit better. Have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.